Hi everyone, this is Sandy. Welcome to Easy Cooking. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make an apple pie. It's really easy to make, super delicious. The preparation time is going to be about 20 minutes and the cooking time is 50 minutes to an hour. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. Let's get started.
Let's go through the ingredients. I'm going to start with the ingredients for the pie crust. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a cup of cold unsalted butter, 3 tablespoons of cold vegetable shortening, and 5 to 6 tablespoons of cold water. For the filling we need about 6 green apples. I'm using Granny Smith apples, but feel free to use any other green apple you like. We also need 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice plus the zest of the whole lemon, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, and 1 egg. Let's get started. To make the crust, start by combining the dry ingredients: flour, sugar, salt, and cinnamon. Mix well and set aside for a minute. I'm going to be using an electric mixer with a kneading hook attached, but if you don't have an electric mixer or a kneading hook, you can mix everything with the help of a fork or just by using your clean hands. So after I have the dry ingredients mixed together, I'm going to cut the cold butter into small pieces. So cut the butter into small pieces, turn on the electric mixer on low speed and slowly add in the butter to the dry ingredients. Mix for about 30 seconds on low and then add in the vegetable shortening. Mix for 30 more seconds and turn on the speed to medium and blend for about a minute or until you get the texture of coarse crumbs. Like I said, if you don't have an electric mixer or a kneading hook, you can mix all the ingredients by hand. This dough is really easy to make and you only need your hands and a fork and you will get the texture we're looking for in about 2 minutes. Reduce the speed to the lowest and add the water, a tablespoon at a time. And I'm going to be adding a total of 6 tablespoons of cold water, but sometimes you need a little less or a little more, depending on the flour you're using. So after I added all the water, I'm going to blend on high speed for about 30 seconds, just to bring the dough together. If you're doing this by hand, add the water slowly and mix gently with a fork or your hands until you have a soft dough, but please do not overmix. This is the kind of dough we're looking for. Firm and soft, but you can see clearly that it's not overmixed. I'm going to refrigerate this dough for about 30 minutes to an hour before using it. "30 minutes before you start baking the pie, you need to preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's make the filling. Wash, peel, core, and slice the apples. My slices are about half an inch thick, but you can make them thicker or thinner if you want to. Just don't make them paper thin or they will just turn into a paste in the oven. So after you have all the apples sliced, now sprinkle them with 1.5 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, the zest of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix everything together until well combined and set aside for a minute. So the dough has been in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. Now it's time to roll it out. I'm going to divide the dough into 2 sections. One section is going to be slightly bigger than the other one, and I'm going to roll out the bigger section first. That one will be for the bottom layer of my pie. Roll it out on a flour surface, roll it enough to cover your pan. I'm using a 9-inch pan. And line your pan with the pastry. And using a small knife, cut any excess dough. If you want to make a small design on your pastry, you can do it now or you can wait until later, until the whole pie is put together. I really enjoy playing with the dough, so I always mess with the pastry before and after adding the filling to my pie. So I cut most of the excess dough, but I left about a quarter of an inch of extra dough hanging out of the pan. Now I'm going to fold it up just so all the extra dough is resting on the edge of the pan. And after that, I'm going to press it down with my thumbs. That will create a nice wavy design. After that, fill the pie with the apple filling. Try to arrange the apples in an even layer. And I'm going to add only 2 tablespoons of the liquid from the apple filling, and I'll discard the rest. Grab about 1 tablespoon of butter, cut it into small pieces, and dot it all over the apple filling. And set it aside for a minute. Roll out the rest of the dough. Roll it enough to cover the pie, and set it aside for a second. Now let's make an egg wash. Beat an egg and half a tablespoon of sugar together, whisk together until well combined and set aside. Brush the edges of the pie pastry with the egg wash, and then place the remaining pastry over the pie. With a small knife, remove any extra dough. And press around the edges with your thumbs to seal the pie. I want my pie to be completely sealed, so after pressing the edges down, I'll fold them up a little bit and then I'll press them down again. Now brush the top of the pie with the egg wash, and with a small knife make a small cut on the top of the pastry to let the steam out. We're going to bake this pie at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, then reduce the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and continue to bake for 40 to 45 minutes or until the crust is nice and golden brown. And that's about it. Enjoy! Since I'm using a disposable aluminum pan, I made some cuts around the pan to get a perfect slice of my pie. This pie is so good that you don't really need anything else to go with it, but if you want, you can serve it with some vanilla ice cream or just a tiny bit of whipped cream. I really hope you enjoyed this video. To print this and some other delicious recipes, please don't forget to visit my blog, and don't forget to subscribe to be notified of future updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!